Did anyone expect him to win it? What happened behind those barracks walls that made his commanders look twice? And why were Jungkook and Taehyung's reactions so different, but equally emotional? The story that no fan saw coming now has ARMY around the world crying with pride. Something happened in the heart of the military camp that no one expected. It started with silence, then erupted into cheers. It began as an ordinary day at the training base, or so everyone thought. The skies above were gray, and the cool wind threaded its way between the rows of disciplined young men standing in formation. Nothing on the surface hinted that this would be a day remembered by millions. But a few murmurs had already begun to stir the stillness, whispers about a certain soldier's performance in the recent series of tactical evaluations. A name was beginning to rise quietly through the ranks. That name was Park Jimin. Weeks earlier, no one outside the base knew what kind of condition he was in. Fans worried when he went quiet. Taehyung had seemed unusually reserved during his last message, and Jungkook hadn't commented at all. There were clues, emotional signals embedded in brief mentions in carefully chosen words. ARMY pieced them together like breadcrumbs on a trail too dark to see clearly, but now the fog has lifted. Jimin, under the relentless schedule of military drills, grueling physical exercises and mental discipline, had not only endured, it turns out, he had quietly risen to the top. And when his name was called in front of his peers, something extraordinary happened. It wasn't just the award that made this moment unforgettable. It was everything that followed. Behind the recognition was a story of personal strength, emotional struggle, unexpected support, and a surprise that left even his fellow BTS members stunned. How did Jimin manage to achieve such a high distinction under these conditions? Why did the military camp issue a rare statement about his demeanor and leadership? What secret were Jungkook and Taehyung keeping that now makes perfect sense? As news trickled out of the base and reached fans through cryptic online updates, unofficial soldier accounts, and a leaked message that surfaced under suspicious circumstances, the full emotional weight of the moment began to sink in. Jimin, often known for his gentleness and vulnerability, had stood tall as a leader in one of the toughest environments possible. And the reactions? They've been nothing short of breathtaking. Jungkook, who had remained silent for weeks about his young's progress, reportedly sent a message that stunned fans with its tenderness and pride. "He's always been strong," the note read, "but now he's showing the kind of strength people never saw in him before." Taehyung, on the other hand, reportedly broke down after hearing the news. "I thought he was struggling," he whispered to a fellow soldier, "but he was flying the whole time." These words, shared in hushed tones and captured by someone close to them, have set off a wave of emotions within the BTS fanbase. Millions are celebrating Jimin's achievement, but more than that, they're celebrating the person he has become under pressure. They're celebrating the man who smiled through pain, led without boasting, and proved something bigger than even an award can measure. What makes this story even more surprising is what Taehyung and Jungkook reportedly did after the announcement. A quiet gesture, deeply symbolic and completely unexpected. And that's just the beginning. Absolutely. Here's the continuation of the long-form article, expanding on the emotional depth, reactions, behind-the-scenes clues, and fan responses. This will continue in immersive narrative form as requested. It wasn't just a trophy or a plaque. It wasn't even the applause from the commanders or the murmured admiration of fellow soldiers standing in straight lines under the sun. What Jimin received that day was something far more sacred, a recognition that bloomed in silence, born from grit and witnessed by only a few who truly understood the emotional cost behind it. The name Park Jimin echoed through the training ground loudspeaker. Time seemed to still. The voice delivering the message belonged to a respected sergeant, someone not known for handing out compliments lightly. "This award," he said, his tone clipped but sincere, "goes to a soldier who didn't just follow orders. He led, without demanding attention, without needing praise. He helped others stand when they couldn't. He smiled when he was hurting. He rose when others fell." Some soldiers didn't even realize it was Jimin being described until his name was called. And when it was, there was a ripple, a wave of quiet surprise, before thunderous applause followed. Not because of his fame, but because of everything he had done out of sight. Jimin stepped forward slowly. His face was unreadable at first, too composed, too disciplined. But when he reached the front, received the medal, and bowed in military salute, something flickered in his eyes. Perhaps it was relief. Perhaps it was pride. Or maybe it was the memory of nights he'd sat alone in the barracks, wondering if he could really make it through. What no one saw until later was the folded letter he'd tucked into his chest pocket. A letter that fans now believe was from Jungkook. The details are sparse. No one has seen the full letter, but insiders claim it was sent weeks ago, during one of Jimin's lowest points. The message was said to be short, written in Jungkook's precise handwriting. Just a few words. "You are more than they think you are. Keep going, Hyung." Those words, insiders believe, became Jimin's anchor during the toughest part of training. The night runs in freezing rain, the sleep deprivation drills, the moments when even seasoned soldiers questioned their own strength. And yet, Jimin never quit. He kept showing up, not because he wanted recognition, but because he didn't want to disappoint the ones who believed in him. Taehyung's reaction came later, but it was no less emotional. He had been in a different division, assigned to a separate training group, and only heard the news through whispers. It wasn't until late that evening, after dinner and chores, when he saw the official board update on the unit's hallway wall. He stopped in front of it, read the line that listed the names of distinguished soldiers, and froze. According to a young soldier who witnessed it, Taehyung stared at the name Park Jimin for several seconds before reaching out to touch the glass over it. He didn't say anything at first. He simply stood there, as if time had stopped again. Then, in a voice barely louder than a breath, he said, "He did it." Later that night, Taehyung was seen writing something in a small, green notebook he often kept with him. No one knew exactly what it said, but fans now speculate it was a message to Jimin, a response perhaps to a memory, a conversation from long ago when Jimin had once doubted his own strength. Meanwhile, news of Jimin's achievement was beginning to spread beyond the base. The first to react were the fans who had been monitoring the military update channels, those mysterious corners of the internet where information is sparse, vague, and rarely confirmed. But when one user posted a photo of the announcement board with Jimin's name blurred for privacy, but clearly visible upon closer inspection, armies went into a frenzy. "Is that really him?" one post read. "Please tell me he's okay. Did he really win an award?" Soon, confirmation arrived in a quiet, unofficial way. A former soldier-turned-blogger who runs a trusted military experience account wrote, "One of the most emotionally intelligent and respected rookies in the camp right now is a former idol. I can't say more, but he earned it. Every soldier saw it. Fans knew." And with that, a tidal wave of celebration began. Social media lit up with trending hashtags. Hashtag proud of Jimin, hashtag our soldier Jimin, hashtag Jimin award, and unexpectedly, hashtag Taekook is smiling, after fans began connecting Jungkook's recent message and Taehyung's silent reaction. What makes this story more unforgettable is what Taehyung and Jungkook did after the announcement. A source inside the base claimed that, after hearing the news, Taehyung requested a short break from his routine. He walked quietly across the grounds to a small, restricted access area where soldiers sometimes go for solitary reflection. He wasn't alone for long.